Hello ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for checking the video out. I hope you're all well, and I'd love if this is your first time, if you can please consider leaving a like, subscribe and hitting that bell to turn on future notifications for any videos that the channel uploads. Now without further ado, let's get into it straight away. You just click triangle and you can launch a server. If you've got the battle pass, you'll be able to get into this right now. If you haven't, don't worry, you'll be able to get to do this, I believe, on the 13th of December. But quickly, just a little word of warning before you do try and get into this mode. If you're trying to do this for Fortnite's block challenge and you want to not have anybody come and disturb your game because people can join, you quickly push the options, you look at the privacy options and you can change it from private to public. I put it on private because I don't want anybody joining me, and then you just push triangle to apply, go back to the game menu and you can hit to play and launch into your own private server without anybody being able to disturb you from the random matchmaking that it does. And once we're into this world, I can give you a little bit of tips and tricks as to how we're going to make off the islands and how we're going to use the different options to build, things that look like the game worlds, things that look like they'd fit into the Battle Royale map, or things that you can make some crazy little inventions. So the rules for the Fortnite creative are pretty constrained, and I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. Now what you can do is come to this little rift and you can set your options, and all you do is set your rift destination and you've got different island options. For the purpose of this video, I'm just going to go ahead and select island 2. You can see it's there now loading. Once this has loaded in, if I stay nice and close to this portal, and there we go, here presto, you're going to get teleported in, and we're just going to dive straight down and land it. If this is your first time seeing this, then this is your starting island. Every single island looks exactly the same as this. Okay, so you're not going to have islands that look completely different to another player's to build on. They look exactly the same. Now the easiest way for me to show you how creative works is by showing off this. Right now I've got my pickaxe on, but if I push triangle, it'll turn my smartphone on, and I can take that and now put it anywhere on this grid map that it lets me snap it to. And you can see I've got the door frame, but if I want the garage door, all I do is get this option again, copy, and I can now you'll notice I can clip through with the door. I can place the door any way I like, so this is going to probably be a lot more finicky for a lot of people, but you can see that the door options there, and I can just chop it into there. But again, the reason that it dropped is because if you look to the left, it says drops on and off, so that garage door now fell. Let's say I wanted to keep the garage door up on the side, I just push R2 when I've got the drops option off on the left, and it'll stay there. So you can again choose to do that, and you can rotate the doors up, and I don't know why you'd want to have a garage door that's stuck through and looks really weird, but there you can. And you can exit out and just delete by pushing the left directional button. Okay, and you can do this around the whole map and delete all sorts of things that you don't want. So if there's all these trees in your way, you just look at them from a really far distance. Even from here I can see that one I can't get to, so I would need to go a little bit closer. Now the other thing that you can do to really quickly get around your island is double tap the jump button, and you're now flying, and you can go around the entire map like this. Now if you want to go up in the same spot, you just keep X pushed. To go down, you just look down and you can just float right down to the bottom. So it's really quick to move around in. Now for the Fortnite Creative Challenge, you've got 25 blocks. If I wasn't actually flying and I tried to do this, 3, 4, 5, it takes a long time. But if I double tap jump and I'm going like this, it's so much quicker and I can get around the whole map. Now be aware, some of the area isn't as flat as you would expect it in a 25 by 25 tile. 25 by 25 tile is really big, and I'm gonna tell you now, if you try to do a 25 by 25 tile and fill it in with a lot of detail, unfortunately, despite that being Epic's requirement fee, the memory used of 50,000 might cause you problems because buildings in that area need to be very close together, and I think there's going to be a lot of leftover space, so you're going to have to build up stuff that looks really cool and crazy like the real game. Now you've got up on the directional button, so I'll show that again. You've got the smartphone on. This helps you delete things, okay, and lets you see what you can copy and rotate and pick up. And let's say I wanted to pick this up and I want to move it here, all I do is push L2. But if I wanted to copy it and I wanted to leave the original there, you can see I've now got a copy and put a copy there. So it's really useful for a lot of things that you're going to be doing in the game. So again, to bring up the options, you push up on the directional button and you'll see this tab that says prefabs. You look around, you'll see familiar things like the clock towers in the area of Tilted Towers. You'll see these buildings as well that are familiar from Tilted Towers, and some that are from other areas that you'll recognize as well, such as Seasons 5, the unnamed factories area that people used to visit, and the dance floor of course that you used to have in that building. And here's another one, you've got the option to throw down petrol stations, so I'll just give a quick preview of that. Now you can see these have textures that you just can't get in a building menu. You can make it one by one, you can make a staircase, but it doesn't look anything like this. Look at the effects on there. It's got cracked brick and concrete work, it's got the weathering, it's got the roof tiles, just things, little details like this, and signs, pass and gas, for example. And even these, you can't recreate those through a simple building menu. You have to push up on the directional button and you have to build these things. Or if you don't want to build a pre-made shop, all you do is you get these options, okay, and all these will do is let you chuck down the options of different things that you can use, and you just cycle through them, R1, L1, and you can see here they've got different sets of things that you can use. And be aware, these do take up memory used options, okay, so if you're trying to stick really close to that 50,000 limit on the 25 by 25 tile, this is something that you're going to have to delete after you've used everything that you've wanted to. So you can straight away see if you wanted to make some kind of crazy shapes, you've got all these options here to kind of do it. And you can see this snap to the grids, and you can make some pretty fancy shapes. You just need to be aware of how you want to do it. But again, look, there's gaps in this, so you can't do anything really about them gaps. All you can do is try to make your structure here. I can't copy the whole thing though, I need to bring it piece by piece, or just build another one and then delete that one. So there you go, it's now in a flat area, there's nothing in the middle. I can fill this, if I want to build a tree, I build my smartphone, I push R2, I copy it, I can just lay these down here and put them down, put some flowers in, just little things like this that you can build into your game. So people like hiding on the top of these trees, they can come down here, crouch, whatever, get stuck. And you've got all these intimate options that you can put into the little game world that you're making. You can put down your newspapers, stands, or you can put your bollards, you can put these. It's just crazy the amount of things you can do. But like I said, be careful that you don't go over the 50,000 memory used, and if you are going over it, once you've made your world, you just start deleting these by pushing left on the directional button to get rid of the things. And there you go. That will all. I'm going to show you an easy option to get rid of some prefabricated things. So I'm going to use the tower for this because it's the easiest to show it on. You throw this down, And let's say, you know, the preview options there, you don't know which direction it's going to usually be. You know, I've, let's say, got this tower and I want the door to be here. One of the options that you can maybe do, which I found as a workaround because you can't preview it, unlike, you know, the Portal Fort and Portal Fortress, is whenever you throw this down, the direction in front of you is where the door will be. So if, as long as you remember that, you'll be fine. So right now, if you look at this, I can try to break this down and, you know, eventually I'll get through all the stuff, but all you do is push left to delete, delete, and then all this will fall down. And as you can see, you then just get rid of these things. Nope, not the option I wanted. You can delete that. Okay, now here's another cool option that you might want to consider. Now we've got drops on and drops off. So drops on means when I've got something in the air and I build it, it will drop down. But let's say I wanted to keep something in the air for whatever reason. You're making like a haunted house or something ghostly. You know, you might want to have chairs or something flying about. You do option on the left, which is drops, and put off by triangle twice, you know, and you can now get in any haunted themed, you know, sort of stuff. I know Halloween's over, but maybe you're going for a spooky Christmas theme. So again, we put drops on and grid snap. Now the grid snap means that the little thing moves around on this, but if you turn it completely off, you can independently choose the distance that you want, so you can move it around and put it exactly where you want it. But if you do it like this, then you can see how it's just going to be snapping, you know, as the name implies, to these little grids, which I find is a lot more useful if you know you want distance. So you got 1, 2, 3, you know, you want it like a certain equal distance apart. It's great for measuring equal distance. Again, left on the directional button will delete all these options. And that's just a quick preview of how you can make your different structures. But also, if you look here, by pushing up on the directional button, you've got a option to get into all these tree options. You've got the signs, the floors, the hedges, the vehicles, little details that you see in the normal game, shop signs, you know, the way buildings are built. You can also get these, which has got like different staircases and stuff. Again, if you look on the memory used, you'll see it just keeps going up. So staircases like this, you know, staircases like these, things that you would find in the real game, you know, and different shop options where you might want this on the outside wall, but you might want a door like this. I think that's usually the gas station has this sort of setup, you know, and just different settings for the floors. You know, if you wanted to make a wood floor, you know, these to line roofs with, you know, and again, you can copy everything here by building up the smartphone. That was what I was meant to do. So build up the smartphone and you push copy, and then you just take, you know, whatever you want and just move it around the world. So that's really the easiest way for you to just push up. And if you push R2, you've got different, you know, weapon options and spawns that you can use. In Fortnite's creative challenge, for the block that they want you to do, 25 by 25 tile area, 50,000 memory use, don't worry about chests or weapon spawns or vehicle spawns or anything like that. They're all going to take care of that. You just concentrate on making a great world. But for those of you just interested in, you know, making a world for you and your friends to explore, this is a great option. You just put this on and push square to add to the chest, and you'll see in the right tab where it says chest, there's number 1. You know, we're going to build a really stacked thing. And now this tells you what you've got in your chest tab, but you don't actually have to create a chest. You can create a llama. So all you do is push triangle. I just wanted to put a llama in a tree or some kind of weird locations, you do it like that. You just float up in the air and you create your chest there. Okay, and if we just go to open this up, oops, wrong option. Yep, and you can see it's not going to work. So although, you know, I've got this llama here, I can't. So all I can do is pick it up and we can drop it down here. And now if we try and search it, hopefully this, nope, doesn't appear that is the case because I am flying. So you can't search things while you're flying, but on the floor you can. So that's a little bit of a quick tutorial for llamas as well. And yeah, just go crazy. This island is, you know, all at your disposal. They all look the same, and you can choose different islands to build on. If you want to reset everything, all you do is push the options button, go to my island, and you can see options here for gameplay. You know, if you want to do a free-for-all, if you want to do cooperative, how many people there are for teams, because there's 16 people I believe that you can have in your island, so you can go wild with some of the options, and you can choose the options here. And then island tools, you can edit permission. Now, just as I was saying earlier, you can say the privacy of who you want on the island, only people that you invite, things like that, because you don't want to be creating something for the Fortnite challenge of the block and have somebody come in and they just, you know, are able to edit everything, completely delete all your hard work. Or maybe you've got friends like that that you don't want to be able to do that. I'd, you know, turn it private and not invite them if they're that way inclined. And then you can change it to island edit permissions where everybody can edit your structures. Just be aware that even though people haven't got the permission to edit, um, you know, they can still goof around with certain things, like I believe quad crashes. If you've got one in your map, they can still kind of break stuff with it. So just be careful, I think, of that sort of option. Now, reset island, you just push triangle, confirm, and then you'll just see everything that was, you know, on the island is now gone, and it goes back to how it was when you first entered the world. So that's just a brief and quick tutorial into Fortnite Creative. I look forward to seeing all of you guys, you know, creating some crazy worlds out there. If you've enjoyed this tutorial, please consider, you know, leaving a like, subscribe, and have a great day.